Hello, my Elven Warriors. I'm back, and today I'm going to be drawing a fight between Deku and Shigaraki. This isn't a fight that actually happened in the show. I just wanted to do some cool fan art, and I was thinking this video was going to go fast. It did not go fast. This took me a long time. It's actually quite late. But it is one of my first, well, I guess it's probably my first time doing watercolor all the way through, like finishing the picture and the painting and everything. Normally I just dabble in it and then I get bored and then stop because I'm lazy. Not a whole lot that I want to say about the drawing itself, besides that I kind of like it. I think it came out pretty good. Deku I liked more so than Shigaraki because I just couldn't get the angle of Shigaraki's face right. So the drawing of Deku was fun to do. I kind of liked it. It was mostly just doing a cool action pose and then just adding all the details of Deku's costume as necessary and then going from there. The Deku I chose to draw was the Vigilante arc Deku because I haven't caught up to Season 7 yet. Well, I guess I'm caught up to Season 7. I just haven't watched or seen Season 7 yet. It looks cool though based on the commercial I saw or trailer. It looks good. But I won't see it for like another year because I always wait till it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD because I don't have Crunchyroll and I don't want to bother with it. So when I was drawing Shigaraki, I was having a hard time getting the angle of his head right and the perspective at which I wanted him to be looking like he was leaping towards you or getting ready to leap towards you. So he was like gripping into the ground and getting ready to launch off the ground at you. But I was having a hard time getting the perspective right. I watched a couple videos on foreshortening and perspective. Most of the one I watched that was the most helpful was by Draw Like a Sir. Yeah, he gave a bunch of good advice. So if you want advice on drawing perspective, go watch that because it was good. Sorry if this video feels very rambly and like I don't actually know what I'm talking about. That's because I didn't bother scripting. I ran out of time to script and I just wanted to get a voiceover done. So I'm just gonna talk about what I see and then give my thoughts, and most of the time my brain is empty, so there are no thoughts. Getting the perspective on his face was quite difficult because I don't usually draw characters from like a top-down look, and you can tell because it's only okay. But you know, his hand came out really nice, which is something because hands are usually really hard to draw, and I think his hand looks really cool. I don't usually draw backgrounds, so the background ends up looking cobbled together and not great because I don't usually draw backgrounds, so it's just like a bunch of poorly drawn rocks jutting up out of the ground. And now we're on to the watercolor, which I have never done watercolor before, and it was actually quite fun to use. I'm not very good at it, but it was fun to use. If it ever felt like it was like too dry or like it was very pasty, you just add more water. It was great. And it, you know, sometimes it gets really vibrant color. Although I liked it the most when I figured out that, you know, watercolor needs water and you should actually water it down. But hey, it's my first time watercoloring. I like the way the purple scarring on Shigaraki's hand came out. That was really nice. And I think Shigaraki has purplish scarring on his face, at least based on the reference I used. And then he's got black pants, which come out more gray because it's watercolor. But I think the gray is better than pure black because it allowed you to see the line art that I add later. And here's where I just start slapping down a bunch of brown for the rocks because I did not know what color I wanted the rocks to be before I started painting. And I just started adding paint and adding paint. And then, well, it looks okay in the end. I can say it looks great. And then add some depth. I do purple shadows because I didn't want to do like gray or a darker brown. I wanted to do like a purple to give it like a darker, more grim style vibe, but it didn't work. It just kind of looks like the rocks are purple. Anyways, on to those are supposed to be clouds. It's just blue sky with like streaks because of the paintbrush I used. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to painting clouds. And now the Black Whip has been painted green. I'm gonna go back through later on with some color pencil to add the darker spots of Black Whip. Before I go do color pencil, I'm going to ink it with a really crummy ink pen that I bought, like a pack of like 50, and I'm working through slowly. And it was very scratchy. After a little bit, my sister got annoyed watching me struggle with the same crappy ink pen, so she brought me a slightly better, not slightly better, it was way better, gel style pen. And now we've moved on to the color pencil, which I'm using to add shading and depth to a lot of the spots, and I think the color pencil really helps round it out and make it look finished and complete. I use a purple marker to add more purple shading. Not marker. This is a color pencil, not a marker. And then, as I said before, I come in with a dark green and add the scribbly black texture, which is darker green, to the center of Black Whip. Now on to Deku. Its jumpsuit is like a dark green, but I started with a lighter green because from what I was told, watercolor you work from light to dark, and also it seems to dry darker than the initial color anyways. But I don't know, there's something really nice and calming about working with watercolor. It was really fun. And then his braces that he gets from America, because what are they called? The Shield family made him some braces for his arms. Those get painted red, and then Black Whip gets the familiar green from before. And I used the same red from the braces on his arms on his belt. I used the same red on his belt. and then his leg covers. I don't know what those are supposed to be. The leg cover brace things are painted black, along with the iron soles of his shoes and the iron covers on his shoes. And then the decal strips on his jumpsuit get painted a dark green, and I forgot to draw those ones in, so I just paint them in. Now on to Gran Torino's cape. That gets like a mustard yellow. His backpack, I painted the same color as the cape and then come in with a darker orange to give it like a more darker orange, because that's what his backpack is colored like. Now for the blue strips on the glove. I like the way this came out. The glowing blue energy on his eyes. I wanted a nice fade to it, and so I started with a really concentrated stuff up top, and then I used more water as I went down towards the eyes, because it's supposed to be more concentrated at the tops of the energy and more of like a white at the centers of his eyes. And I think it came out okay. That's my favorite part of the whole painting, actually, is the nice fade transition in the energy around his eyes. And Deku's up in the sky, so lots of blue for the sky cloud stuff. It doesn't really look like clouds, it just looks like blue, endless void. But to give it more of a cloudy look and some depth, I gave it purple around the edges. Now for Deku's hair, which is green as well. And then for Deku's skin, I didn't have a skin tone, so I just went with like a brown, and I put very little brown on his skin, and then I just wiped it around with some water, and I think it's pretty close to Deku's actual skin tone, which is cool. Now time to go in and add detail with the color pencils. Weirdly, I jump around a lot when I'm working. I either, one minute I'll be doing color pencil, and then the next minute I'm like, oh, he needs ink for his line art. And then I go start doing the line art, and then I jump back to the color pencil, and then I think I jump back to line art one more time. I'm very disorganized, and I jump back and forth a lot when I'm working. I like when you finally do get to add the line art, though, that everything starts to look like very clear and defined, and it looks nice. And now once again, back to color pencil, where I add shading and detail. I think all in all, this came out really nice for my first watercolor. Am I going to do it again? Probably not. This took a long time, but well, we're about done and on to the reveals. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you after the reveals. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.